Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio Daily Prayer Program. My name is Daisy Galan, and we are here today to be together building this beautiful currency of love, of light. So we invite you to join us in these moments that it seems so short, right? Just a few minutes of your day, but you will be amazed to know that in this very few minutes, your guardian angel, the higher spirits, they use this time to really come and deliver all the treatment that we need. Is an opportunity whenever you are in your house, in your workplace, to open the doors of your own home to welcome the higher spirits, and they can also use this time to rescue those who are there, who are in needed, those who might be accompanying us because of our similar tastes, of our hobbies, of the things that we like, maybe those who have for lives to come been accompanying us because of our deeds of the past. So this is a true healing moment for all of us. And I see many friends here. Thank you so much for joining us. So we're gonna start by doing a short prayer just to raise our vibrations. Then I'm going to read a message from this book, Our Daily Bread. It's psychographed by Chico Xavier by the Spirit Emmanuel. And then we're going to close with a visualization and a prayer. So if it's your first time joining us, we ask you to be in a place where you can disconnect from everything else. So if you are in your home and there are others there, you can invite them to join you. Or if not, you can find a quiet place whenever you are. Disconnect from emails, from work. If your children are there with you, you can invite them to come and sit with you to this treatment too. And we also recommend that if you can, to have a bottle of water or a cup of water near you. Um, Nothing seems to happen physically, but throughout the prayers, your guardian angel, the mentors will be there delivering the healing that you need, and then you can drink the water later throughout the evening and the day to help you. So today is also, friend, a very, very special day that we want to recognize because it has been 18 years since our dear Chico Xavier has discarnated. So he has returned to the spiritual reality. Thanks to Chico Xavier, we have great books like this one that we're going to read tonight, and so many other, more than 500 books that he psychographed, plus messages, letters, so many consoling messages to mothers, to parents, to those who are sick and suffering. So we are so great for Chico Xavier because it's because of him that we have access to beautiful, beautiful books and teachings that we can continue on and on, right? We can spend our whole lives just dedicating from the books that he psychographed, and I don't think we will be able to go through all these books. So today is very special, and we raise our thoughts to Chico Xavier whenever he is to receive our beautiful embrace of gratitude. So with that, I invite you now, friends, to join us in our opening prayer. I'm going to put some music here to help us. So let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. Slowly release the air from your lungs. Let us remember our Master Jesus the loving and kind Master. Thank you so much, dear Master Jesus, for incarnating among us to show us not only through your words, but especially through your actions, the deeds, the non-spoken body language. Thank you, Master Jesus. Because of you, today we have so much hope in our hearts. We know that everything is possible and that you are here among us, helping and supporting us throughout our pathway. You know, dear Master, what we need at this very moment. Not only us, but our loved ones, our family members, whenever they are, and also our dear brothers and sisters in humanity, who at this very moment are feeling hopeless, who are suffering in both realms of life, especially those, Master, who still have not found or opened their eyes to see your immense love for them. We pray that whenever they are, they can receive the showers of your blessings to comfort their hearts, to guide their pathway, and to lead them to you. Please use us, dear Master, at this time, not only to receive the blessings, but to share with so many who are in much greater need than us on earth. Open our hearts so that we can truly feel the message of today and apply it in our lives. With your permission, we open these prayerful moments of today, and so be it. So, friends, today we're reading a message from the book, Our Daily Bread, and it's a beautiful message. Its title, Conflict, is number 136. And we actually read this message if you participated in our online spiritual care yesterday. But the mentors tonight want us to read this message again and reflect on it. So if it seems familiar to you, it's great because we have heard it before, but we need to hear it more. So Emmanuel starts this chapter by quoting Paul to the Romans, saying, "So I find this law at work. When I want to do good, evil is right there within me." And Emmanuel explains, the sincere disciples of the gospel, as described by Paul of Tarsus, encounter enormous conflicts in their own being. As a rule, they confront enormous difficulties in their testimonies. In the precise instance that they wish to reveal the presence of the divine companion in their heart, one word and one momentary attitude betrays them before their very conscience, indicating the persistence of prior weakness. The majority experience sensations of shame and pain. Some attribute those falls to the influence of evil spirits and generally seek this enemy in an exterior plane, when in actuality, they should heal the undesirable cause within, which place them in tune with evil vibrations. It is unquestionable that we still find ourselves very far from the region in which we can be exempt from adverse vibrations. However, it is important to verify the observation given by Paul within each one of us. While mankind maintains itself either in cold indifference or in restless obstinacy, it is not called upon to a pure analysis. However, as soon as it awakens to the renovation, its inner camp turns into a battlefield. Against this oscillating aspiration for righteousness, each day that goes by, a heavy baggage of accumulated shadows rise in our soul that has transpired in prior centuries. It is indispensable, therefore, that we observe great serenity and resistance on our part in order that the progress thus achieved is not lost. The Lord concede us the clarity of today so that we might forget the darkness of yesterday in preparation for tomorrow on the path of the imperishable light. So, dear friends, what a message, right, that Emmanuel brings us today about conflict. So, the first assessment question for all of us is, who doesn't have, right, conflict inside all of us? We all are faced with this at many times throughout our lives, many times throughout our days, right, our weeks. And Emmanuel says, it's like, we read, we study, we know what is the pathway to go. But then a situation happens and we have the opportunity, right, to put this in practice. And then right there and there, we go completely opposite, right? Is when we tell ourselves, oh, I need to be patient. I need to be patient. I need to be patient. And then you're driving and a car comes and cuts you on a lane, and oh, wow, you get outraged, right? How come? And then we go home and we feel so much, as he says here, right? Shame and pain. And I'm giving this example as a silly example for all of us, but we ourselves can identify on this in so many ways, right? And then Emmanuel explains, so what is the first thing that comes to our mind when that happens? The feeling of shame, right? Pain. And then we say, oh, wow, no, it's the obsessors, right? Are the evil spirits that are connected to me, that are next to me, right? We always blame the obsessors, right? We bless, we pray for the obsessors. But tonight, Emmanuel is reminding us that most of the time, those things happen not because of external influence, but it's because we all have within all of us, we come carrying those things from past lives, right? Centuries, it says centuries to come. So we need to first be able to look at ourselves and forgive ourselves first, right? We talk so much about forgiving others, right? About being patient and forgiving, but are we forgiving of ourselves? Because we're not going to be able to forgive others if we don't start by first practicing it with ourselves, right? We go there and we tell ourselves, we look ourselves in the mirror and we say, wow, yes, I could have done better today. But it's okay, because you know what? We have tomorrow. If God willing, we're giving the opportunity of a tomorrow. We now know and we can do better, right? So having that compassion with ourselves is so, so important. Because imagine we have a garden of beautiful flowers. But within that garden, we also have the weeds, right, that grow together with the flower, right? So imagine that before having the flowers, if we see that the weeds are there, we go there and we remove all the weeds, right? So if we remove all our past tendencies, our evil tendencies, before we plant the flower, what will happen? The garden will be empty, right? There will be no weeds, but then will be no flowers, right? So then we're left with nothing, right? So that's why as we grow the flowers in the garden of our hearts, as we grow these divine sentiments inside of us, yes, the weeds will be there too, but we need to focus on having the flowers. Let the flowers be strong, the roots of the flowers be strong, because then we can go there and cut, remove the weeds. But the flowers are going to stay there. They're going to stay strong and they're going to continue flourishing, right? But if it's too soon, if you go there and pick the weeds, you're going to pick up the flowers too, and then you're going to be left with like an empty garden. So that's the work that we have to do, the gardening work inside of our own hearts. We know, yes, there's so many things we still bring with us from the past, right? There's this conflict that happened. But Emmanuel is saying that that's a good sign. That's a sign we're waking up. How long have we been sleeping, right? On reincarnations after reincarnations, because we cannot even see and realize. Is order for us to address a problem, we first need to be able to identify the problem. So that's great that we look and we say, oh, wow, I could have done better. Yes, that was a big mistake. I now know better. And you can ask yourself at the end of the day, as we learn with St. Francis, to go back at the end of the day, analyze our day, think about our day, and then say, yes, I could have, not in a way to put ourselves down, but has a scientist that goes there, looks at the experiment and says, oh yeah, this worked. Oh, this didn't work very well this time. Next time, for the experiment to work, I need to do X, Y, and Z. It's the same thing with us. We look within us, we see those things went great, those other things, let's work on it. Let's cherish it and focus on it. And you can ask your guardian angel and say, please give me another opportunity to pass the test. Because at the end of the day, friends, we're all on earth, which is a school and also a hospital. But in a school, what do we have? We go through the lessons, right? We learn, we're here, we're learning. And then at the end, we have a test. And what we have to do to pass to the next year, we have to pass the test, right? So it's normal that we will have the situations. But what Emmanuel is reminding us, as he says here, let's observe this with great serenity and resistance in our part, on that, on, or in order that the progress achieved is not lost. Because the problem is, if we then enters the cycle of putting ourselves down, of feeling that we are not worthy, right? Or, stop working on it and put it under the carpet, like we don't see it, right? We put it under the carpet and we don't pay attention to it. But then what's going to happen? One day something is going to happen. It will come and they will lift that carpet up, and then you'll see that there's a whole lot there for us to work on. So Emmanuel today is bringing this message about conflict to remind us to forgive ourselves, to work in ourselves, analyze ourselves, use the moments of every day to reflect and to learn better. And if we don't know yet how to get there, right? We have, as today we celebrate Chico Xavier's life, we have so many beautiful books that can be there to teach us. As we're talking about the school, how are we going to learn if we don't go to school, right? So we have to instruct ourselves. We need to learn, we need to study every day, more and more, every day. Get, even if it's a page, it's at the end of the day, you're tired, it's been a long day. There's so many books like this, beautiful book. It's like a page. Look, it's so short, such a short message, you see? And you read it and you reflect on it and you go to sleep. And then next day, you're gonna be like, oh yes, I remember that. And that's how we work with ourselves. Okay, friends, so that is the beautiful message of today. So we now invite you for our final prayer. And as I said, it's important that we use these moments to truly connect with our guardian angels. So we're going to do a visualization to help us, and then we're going to finalize with a prayer. Okay? So let us now close our eyes and let us imagine ourselves in this beautiful garden. Look at the flowers, the beautiful colors of the flowers. Whatever flower is most dear to your heart. Imagine that you are walking within this beautiful garden. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. And you can smell the perfume of this beautiful garden of flowers who goes beyond your eyes can see. As you continue walking, you see that someone is approaching you. And even before you recognize him, you feel the peace that he brings, the love, the gentleness, the kindness. And as this figure approaches you, you recognize Jesus in front of you with a beautiful smile, open arms to embrace you. As you give Jesus a kind hug, you don't need to tell him anything because he knows everything that we need at this moment. He caresses your head and he invites you to walk in this beautiful garden, explaining to you and all of us that in order to build a beautiful garden of flowers, we need to focus on the good of the flowers, focusing on strengthening their roots before we can get rid of the weeds of the past And as Jesus continues leading you throughout this beautiful garden, he invites you now with a beautiful basket to select some flowers. And as you select the bouquet of flowers, you travel with Jesus to all the hospitals throughout our planet Earth, delivering the flowers to those most in need. The prisons, receiving the beautiful bouquet of flowers, shelters, and nursing homes. You now travel with Jesus to refugee camps, especially delivering the flowers to the children who are abandoned, the children who are without a loved one. We also deliver this bouquet of flowers to the suicides in the valley of the suicides, the criminals, those who committed abortions or who were aborted. And as we deliver the bouquet of healing flowers, we raise our thoughts and thank Master Jesus, dear loving Master. Teach us how to fulfill the plans that we committed ourselves before reincarnating. Lead us to the narrow and straight path towards you. And let us not forget, dear Master, those who are in much greater need at this moment. We ask that you can comfort their hearts and that they can receive the treatment needed by your fingers. We also thank today our dear Chico Xavier for being an example of humility, resignation, love, and kindness to all of us on how we can fulfill our lives helping those who need our support. Thank you, dear Chico, for the treasures that you left us and for continuing today to share your loving kindness with all of us. We ask, Master, that we can continue receiving this treatment throughout the day and the week. And with your permission, we close these moments of today. And so be it. Thank you so much, dear friends. It feels so good, right? I see here Danielle, Betty, Nora Brasil, Fed, so many others. Thank you for joining us. Those who we can see or those who are watching this on demand, feel a beautiful embrace from all of us at Kardec Radio. Remember, we have programs 24/7 that you can watch, that you can tune in anytime that you need. If you have any questions, leave us a comment here. And we hope now that you can drink your water and then you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. See you next time. Thank you, friends. Bye bye.